And welcome back to Fire and Maneuver. Last time around when we were playing this, we were playing the historical battles. However, since then the game has sort of fully released and I was gifted the latest DLC about the Japanese wars by the Armchair Historian. So I thought in between Total War campaigns I would go ahead and test out doing a campaign. So I've already started a little bit here, just to test it out. But I'm thinking we're gonna do the Boshin War. We basically have, the thing is, they do have like an alternate history scenario, which is exactly what I've just been doing with the Scramble for the Far East campaign in Shogun 2. But this will be comparative to regular Fall of Samurai, the Boshin War. So we have the Imperials versus the Shogunate, and I thought this would possibly be a shorter campaign. I also had an idea of doing the American Civil War. We'll see how this does. And then I also have obviously I'm gonna try my best to do a few multiplayer battles, because there's you can't really get the same playing against an AI as you do a human. And then I also have another idea rolling around in my brain that we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about. But I think we go ahead and start it right here. So we're gonna go in, start the battle right here. I'm thinking we're gonna go for the Imperials. I'm always more of an Imperial guy, more so than the Shogunate, the weak bastards. We're gonna go for the Emperor, modernization, and make Japan great again. With that, you know what? Let's just go ahead and start, shall we?
The time has come to restore the rightful power of the Emperor and bring about the dawn of a new era in Japan. The Shogunate's grip on the nation must be loosened, and it falls to you to command our forces in this crucial endeavor. Many clans flock to your banner, but the bulk of your forces come from Satsuma and Choshu. We must march on Edo and bring about a new age of prosperity under the Emperor's divine rule.
Very good. Divine rule. Just what we like. So it's very important to rally the clans around us. Currently, we do not have the favor really of the country. We're at 40% compared to the Tokugawa Shogunate, which is at 60. So it's going to be really important that we pick our battles, that we win the battles, but also that we keep control of the victory points. And we've got one right here. Then we've got one here, and then if we go all the way down here, back at the Shosu domain, and we also have one over here. We've got quite a few. Now, with that, we also have a few armies, as you can see. Unfortunately, most of my armies are nowhere close where the fighting's gonna stand. As we can see, we've got Shogunate forces arrayed, quite a lot of them, to the south of Kyoto, or the Toba Fushimi region. And we only have one army really arrayed against protecting, losing this. So this is also quite a small army, so one cavalry, 4 infantry, and 1 cannon. Compared to the Shogunate, we've got 4 infantry down here. We've got, let's see, zoom in a little bit. 3 infantry, 1 cavalry, 3 cavalry, 7 infantry, and 1 cannon. So there's plenty of troops arrayed against us. So in reality, I'd probably stay away from fighting these just because of the high numbers. However, I feel like I cannot afford to lose any provinces. So we're gonna move in and we're gonna go ahead and defend Toba Fushimi here. So we're gonna go ahead and defend that region. Then we're gonna go ahead and start moving the other armies. So we need to start moving them forward towards the the front lines. It's also important here, supply mode, making sure that we have supplies reaching our troops, so we don't end up in a situation where we run out of the supplies, which we actually already have. If we click here, we've got an army right here. Now, we can go ahead and build supply depots, but I wonder if it's necessary to build out here. We're gonna suffer attrition as we move forward here, but we'll be out of this within 2 turns, and I feel like spending money or spending resources building a supply center here might not be necessary, because we're gonna work on that through another way. I'm thinking this army should move along this route and join in with this one, so we'll have 2 going this way and 2 going that way. So the way we're gonna get around the supply problem is we've got the administration here, so we've got logistics, we got these are more what should I call it? These are more like you move up or down, but what we want to do is we want to go to doctrines, deterrent warfare, mobile warfare, and attrition warfare. Attrition, we don't want the war to last this long. We've got the the Western powers are already here. That's part of the problem why this war started, of course, because the Western powers had their influence here. So we don't want to weaken the country and open it up for more Western influence. So we're not going to go for attrition warfare. Deterrent warfare could be something, as the doctrine is centered around making the enemy think twice before attacking. The focus is on strong defense, which could be needed. However, I don't want to sit in my current situation. We want to move forward, right? We are not looking to defend at this part. We are looking to attack. So I'm looking at mobile warfare. So that's what we're going to select. And we got supply chain. Now, I can't afford to research it right now because we need more influence. We need 20 influence to increase that. Currently, we are gaining province gain 11, so we're gaining 11, so we will be able to set this next turn. But mobile warfare will increase province range for all supply points +1. So I'm thinking that will kind of solve my problem by increasing the supply range and kind of filling out these areas. I'm not entirely sure. This is like the first time I proper played a campaign, so I'm hoping kind of that is the way it works. If it isn't, it's not that big of a deal in terms of instead of building supply depots here and here and kind of here. So I'm hoping that those areas kind of fix themselves. What we do need to build supply depots is kind of in the enemy, as we move into enemy territory. Like here, we could definitely need a supply depot, and if we move on the flank sort of around here, then we also need would need a supply point to supply ourselves over there. But we're set on the right way. Now we definitely need more troops. Currently we're gaining a lot. So we're gaining over 1,500. Wait, so government salary, is this our overall funding? Alright, so balance, we're making 1,300 per turn, so we got plenty. We got plenty of money to spend. So I'm thinking we're gonna increase the Sachuro army. So we're gonna go through here. So we got the number of different forces. But we got the Sachuro, and I want to increase their numbers. So I'm thinking we're going to increase by adding infantry regiments to the Shosu division and the Satsuma division. All of these will take 5 turns, so it doesn't really matter that much. Shosu infantry. So we got Chosu, let's put the Chosu then, and let's put a Satsuma infantry there to increase it. Now it'll take 5 turns for these to deploy. I believe. That's how it works. And also, it obviously drains the manpower pool a bit as well. We got an additional 500, but I think I'm gonna save up for that. So those will be deploying soon enough. And with that, I don't really think there's anything... grants 1,000 cash. Extra reserves. I don't need that right now. What I need is to start the... my doctrine. Start working on that. So we're not going to spend the points on anything else. There's nothing to do here, nothing to do here. We are done. Now, because they've got such an overwhelming amount of numbers, I'm expecting them to attack immediately. So we will be bracing for them to go directly for the Battle of Tobo Fushima here outside Kyoto. So we will be prepared for a fight. Let's go ahead and end turn and do the best of our ability. The Tokugawa shogunate has decided to defile the Emperor's will and is moving on the attack. Now I am able to move out and attack them there. I do not trust the out-resolve because we're currently in such a predicament. Even though we've got like 90% chance of victory for this one, I still don't want to lose a single soldier for this fight because we've still got the two bigger forces aligned to go directly at us. So I'm gonna take the command and we're gonna fight this battle. We have arrived on the field of battle. We've got a few key terrain features in between us and the enemy. Like we've got a few towns, a few woods, and a few fields here, some hills. What I'm thinking is one of the, as I already test played this before, I know that the Armstrong guns are really powerful and going to be really important. So we're going to kind of anchor the strategy around that. What I've noticed here is we got a hill. So I'm thinking we're going to move the artillery up to that, which hopefully means that I can fire above my troops. We'll array the troops either if I get to the villages, kind of here on the flank, as the enemy will move through here. And then we kind of array our troops around this. And we'll absolutely massacre them, hopefully. And with that, I'm kind of going to go ahead and fast forward through a lot of this. So I'll see you once the bullets start flying. Right, it has already kind of become a problem. So first of all, when I started over there, of course my troops started bogged down. So for the first turn I couldn't move, which gave the enemy an advantage that they were able to move quicker than me. Also here we might note that the enemy is not moving through here, which I wanted them to. They're instead moving through here, which is not what I wanted, and it kind of puts all my troops out of line. I want to focus around my artillery, so I still want to get in the hill position here. But at the same time, I don't want them to take a position in the village, because then it'll drag out the battle for a lot longer. And preferably, I'll completely destroy this force. So this actually makes quite the problem. Now I can try and reposition them here, but the time I've set up my cannons, the enemy will be already kind of in position. So I think I'm gonna stick with my strategy. I'm gonna move them up there. I'm gonna move these infantry over there. I don't think the enemy is gonna have time to actually move. We're gonna have to move into the towns, because I don't want the enemy to take up those defensive positions. But without the Armstrong guns in support, it's gonna make it a lot more difficult. And I cannot push troops up here that don't really have that much support. Maybe I'll abandon the villages and give them up to the enemy, even if it is a lot stronger of a point. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Right, next turn the enemy has deployed into line on this side. They're still in column over here. I can't do much about it because my troops are also in column. I think it's high time though to deploy into line. The AI is kind of screwing me over with this. Let's go ahead and make sure that we deploy into lines though. I think we're close enough that it's starting to become dangerous here. Just in case, I don't think these guys will continue their advance, but I'm just gonna put these guys on fire at will, and then I'm thinking I'm gonna have these guys on a wild goose chase by moving my cavalry around, kind of just kind of upsetting these guys to kind of they don't really know where they're going, kind of giving me time for the main army to set up. And we'll see how that goes. Right, so with that done, these guys have moved into line. These have moved slightly forward. This one is moving to support this one. And in this moment right now, I've got this one plenty within range of my Armstrong guns. And I'm thinking we're gonna move the Chaucer troops in to take the village, and at the same time I'm gonna move forward the Satsuma. I should have moved, but damn it, I should have just moved both of them at the same time. Right. Although I don't have a great need from double stacking them like that. Gonna go ahead and fire. And I think we'll keep... No, I'll bring these guys back actually. Right, let's see how this goes. The first things first. Oh, they're moving behind the village. The artillery can still hit them, it's still plenty within range of them. We get soft covered for the village, and we should still be able to fire. These guys should still be able to fire on these. So it was good that I put them in an angle like that. And we took half their unit. Their center was devastated by a real nasty volley. Given that they've lost so much and we were within soft cover, I am pretty darn confident. However, I'll still make sure that these guys die by having the first move my army makes is to fire here. The second one will have the Armstrong guns deliver 2 salvos on these troops. And then we're gonna have these guys move in, take position in the village. And then I will start to move the rest of the troops forward. We're gonna put this one on fire at will, just in case the enemy moves forward there. And I will move the cavalry, kind of loop around and set up like that. And with that, let's go ahead and end turn. So the first thing, they move back, they get hit in the back, and they get evaporated. They're within artillery range, and they're taking quite the beating. It looks like they're gonna stick out there, but that's plenty within range of my Armstrong guns. And the terrain there is completely open. They're gonna get absolutely destroyed. The important thing for the end bit here would be to try and relocate the Armstrong guns for a decisive fight against these two over here and have them completely annihilated. We're gonna start by firing the Armstrong guns, and I think that might very well be enough to completely destroy them. Just in case, I'm gonna move these guys forward. And since they're on fire at will, they should be able to shoot at them, the enemy, as they move forward. At the same time then, we need to prepare for a fight against these two units up here. I'm gonna move forward and have my troops kind of start to align themselves against these. So we kind of see army movements where a big portion of the army is moving this way, with the slight force moving to deal with these. But I'm thinking the Armstrong guns might very well be enough to break these apart. And with that, let's end turn. And they took a fired well hit from this one, and then I think we only managed to fire off one battery shot and destroy the enemy over there. The Armstrong guns, really strong. We thank Mr. Armstrong for allowing us to have these guns. Now, we've got the enemy kind of around here. It's going to be important to start moving the Armstrong guns. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to use them in the final part of the battle here. What I'm thinking is we're going to line the troops like this. So we kind of got a line going through here if he wants to move into that firing range. And then I will move the cavalry to kind of sit behind the woods, ready to move out. We're going to bring up the guns. And what I'm aiming for is to shoot down both of them in one swell swoop to eliminate all units from the battlefield, rather than just eliminating them below 25%. So in that way we'll hopefully inflict as much casualties as possible on the Tokugawa force. Let's go ahead and end turn. My Armstrong gun is now set up in the village, ready to fire, and it should be within range. Unfortunately, my troops are now standing in the way, and they can't fire through them. And as we can see, the enemy force is continuously retreating. They're avoiding a fight. At the same time, I don't want to lose any proper troops, because if I do, then that's going to impede the fight in the next one. So as much good it did to take out the two enemies here at the start, I have unfortunately not moved well enough that I will be able to destroy this enemy force, unfortunately. He should be able to fire now. Although I fear this guy will move out of range even further. And we have very little daylight left as we push forward through here, following them. Just as I thought, the enemy has moved behind the woods, and I can no longer get at them. These guys are no longer at fired will. I wonder if I could possibly move up and fire twice with my cavalry. The thing is, I fear that my cavalry will not withstand much of a firefight with these guys, or even a single volley, before they start to lose a lot of manpower. So I'm a little bit worried about putting them into action there. But I want to move a little bit off to the flank so we can kind of see about maybe getting a better shot at them there. It's pretty clever of the AI to avoid fighting me like this, I feel like. I have no chance at firing at them over there, unfortunately. However, as I'm moving over the troops this way around, maybe, just maybe, this guy will walk back into range. And we'll see how that goes. Or maybe I would do this then. Right, let's go ahead and end turn. The day is really coming to a close. I have 1 or 2 turns left, not entirely sure. The enemy is now set up to shoot at us. And we will be returning fire. And hopefully with this maneuver and these 3 units firing on him, we will start to break him up. At the same time, this guy is facing the wrong direction. He's facing this way. So I feel like I could probably move up safely and fire twice in the flank. And if that does not work, then we've got an extra troop coming up. Artillery, unfortunately, really strong, but he's we're just not able to redeploy him in time. Let's go ahead and see here for the final end turn what kind of damage we can do here. Okay, so he's moving. Probably means that this unit back here won't be able to fire. But this guy will get an excellent fire into his flank as he moves forward. Oh, these guys moved. My cavalry will still be able to fire upon them. I think, maybe. Or maybe not. So I might still here be able to win this fight. The important bit is going to be to destroy this one as quickly as possible here. At the very end here of the battle, will I be able then to kill the enemy? And Armstrong, yeah, you have nothing. There we go. That's the final move, and it's probably the last. Let's go ahead and end turn. Wonderful volley. And they are unable to return. Unfortunately, my cavalry got hit by them, and we took quite a bit of casualties. We are able to do quite a bit of casualties on them, so they're down to 6% of their force. So it's enough for me to win, but I would rather have them completely destroyed. And I'm hoping my cavalry can recover in time for the next battle, but who knows? This could be bode very very bad for the next one, even though I only lost 4% of my force. Right, let's continue. Here's the result of the battle. We lost 360 men, where which 36 recovered, which is about, what, 10%? While the enemy force lost almost 6,000 men. However, almost 50% of their force recovers, with 3,560, which is well over 50%. Why? I recover 10%, they recover 50%. What is going on? Why is that the case here? Do they have some policies, or is there some advantage on how they were moving? God knows, but they recover a staggering amount of troops. And still after that, what seemed like a pretty straightforward victory for me, destroying that many of them, still leaves 4,000 of them. So they only lost about 2,000 men at the end of it, even though I inflicted almost 6,000. That's almost, what, 2/3 were recovered afterwards. With that said, though, I think this is a good starting point for this campaign, and we'll keep the videos around 30-minute mark. I also know that from my test play, this battle is going to come right afterwards. I'm peeved a little bit by the fact that I only recovered 36. I guess the horses, they do not recover as well as troops. But I think this was a good start, and what I said in the beginning about custom battles, which I probably should have elaborated on more in the beginning of the video, maybe, because I don't know how many stick around to this point, but probably the most veteran viewers and the most loyal viewers have stayed around to this point. And what I want is... I've been playing the AI quite a lot in different custom battles for Total War, and in this as well, but obviously having a human opponent is much better, so I want to start a Steam group. We're gonna sort of it's gonna be Steam and Discord, so I'm gonna kind of set it up so that we have a Steam group. It's gonna be called like Play with Lord John or something like that, and I'm gonna have that to kind of organize, or we're gonna set it up so I can alert you guys through Steam to see who's on, and then we're gonna kind of organize ourselves on my Discord server. And I'm thinking this is a good game to start with, to doing kind of custom battles against each other, because it's free to play, so everyone will be able to take part. But then obviously there will also be levels to get to more complicated sort of Total War mods, where maybe the Anglo-Zulu War one, or something like that, to do more complicated battles and array in that way. So that's what I have in mind. So it'll be a combination of Discord organized a bit through Steam, where I can post announcements and stuff like that, that's my idea. So I'm working a little bit on it. We'll see when I roll anything out, but leave your feedback to that in this video, or if you just like the video in general. And with that, I will keep you no longer, and I'll say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!